Alrighty, so we're live. So welcome. Thanks for joining the stream, and good morning. It's Friday morning for me, so thank you. Like I said, thanks for joining. Hopefully, you've had a good week. It's been a while since I've streamed, so we've had the Easter breaks, and also here in Australia we've had something called Anzac Day, which was yesterday, which is like our Memorial Day, I suppose. So I've been offline for a little bit, but what I wanted to do today is just finish off the Xamarin.Forms UI challenge that we have running, which is really just to reproduce the UI that you see over here in Xamarin.Forms, and we're a reasonable way there. So what we might do is we might start off by having a bit of a review of where we're up to, and then we'll identify some work items to finish this off, and then we should be good to go. All right, so first of all, just for anyone who hasn't been joining in, let's just go and have a look at the URL for the GitHub repo, and I should post these into the chat window, I suppose. One thing I have to do is I have to move my chat window up out of the way because my head's in the way. But there's the GitHub repo. You can see that in the chat. Now, one really cool thing is I got a pull request in here from Jessipas. So this was implementing a label length control. So I have a bit of a look at that as we go through as well. So that's awesome. And we'll see what's in there. I already merged it in good faith. And then we'll go through and have a look at what it actually does as well. All right, cool. So let's spin this up and see where we're at. I've got some issues for things that I know aren't working or that we need to do, but let's run it up first of all. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just get this over here on the side, and then we can have a look at the running version of it and see where it's up to. So I'll run this on, let's start on iOS. So I'll set that as my startup project. Give this a run, see where we're up to. So this is what we're trying to do. This page over here. It's a little bit hard to see because it does a little bit of zooming as it sort of illustrates it, but and I might just get Visual Studio out of the way here as well. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. So this is that page there. And when we tap on it, so when we tap on this make a bid down the bottom here, okay, we're popping up that page, and then when we tap it again, it pops up the whole way. So, you know, we've got the basics there of that pop-up happening. Also, if we hit Vincent, we can pop Vincent up as well. And we've got that nice flow layout there. So, you know, we've got a lot of the elements in there. So a couple of things that we want to work on today. Let's have a look at the pictures here. Most of our pages are looking about right. So a couple of things here. We need a Wikipedia icon in there. This section here is looking all right. The Vincent van Gogh page is looking pretty good. Okay, so that's it. We might move it up a little bit, but we've got our flow layout there working nicely. One thing that we also need to do is on this bid page, we need to add a few gradients in here. Okay, so we'll play around with something called the Pancake View in order to do that. All right, so that's where we're at. So we've got a few work items, gradients on our bid pop-up page. Also, Lachlan put in a bug request. He said, hey, scrolling and clicking isn't working on Android. So we might want to fix that one as well. Okay, let's just try running on an Android and see how we go. A bit quiet out there in the chats. Hopefully, like I said, you've all had a good weekend. Well, it's not the weekend. I keep on thinking it's the weekend because I had a public holiday yesterday. It's actually not the weekend at all. It's Friday. All right, let's have a look at what we have in our Android. So here's my Android device. All right, what do we got here? Number one, this button. Better fix that button, hey? That button doesn't look great. That's looking okay. All right, so that's not too bad. We got our Vincent van Gogh isn't working. Okay, and in fact our scrolling isn't working either. All right, so this is the bug that Lachlan had. Let's fix that one. On the main page, the scroll view doesn't scroll, and any controls within it, click handlers, don't trigger. Issues on Android only. Okay, so let's have a look at what that is. My guess is that in our layout, what we do is, in order to have this background here sort of go dark when a pop-up happens, like that, okay, we basically have a box view with a gradient on it, which is overlaid, and it's also what receives the tap requests from here. Okay, now on iOS it's fine. Let's have a look. Okay, working fine, and we can scroll. But here, what's happening is it's not, right? So my guess is that what's happening is that and I've seen this before, where there's a slight difference between iOS and Android about how it handles the clicks. Hey, R2AU, happy Friday. Thanks for joining in. I was having a look at R2AU's collection view challenge as well. My goodness, he did some animations on there that were amazing. So that was fantastic. Well done. All right. First of all, let's solve this problem. Now, I think the problem here is really that, or what I've seen in the past, is that if you've got a element here, what I do is I make the opacity of that 0. But in iOS, that will still allow clicks to happen. On Android, it doesn't. All right, let's just test this out, and let's just prove this. So basically, if I come into my main page here, let's just try this. Let's expand that pop-up. No. Okay, when we tap this, what we want to happen here, we'll try this. We'll say when we come in here, we fade. So this is when the page fader is tapped. So in other words, when the user taps on that back section. So when this is up, they tap on that darkened section there. What we do is we go ahead and we fade that to 0. Right? So we make it go transparent. And then we also translate the bid pop-up and the artist pop-up down. Okay. So what we want is we want to say, hey, when this is finished fading to 0, let's actually make it invisible as well. Right? So what I'm going to do, because we have to wait for it, right? So if we're waiting for it, if I just put it in here, then it's going to make it disappear straight away. So I think we're going to have to await this. And then once that's finished fading out, we'll say page fader dot is visible equals false. Something like that. And we don't want to await these guys because we want them to happen at the same time as the fade. And what I might also do is come into my main page and get that page fader. Its opacity is 0, but let's set its visible false as a starting point. Okay, and what we'll also do is we'll say, hey, when something pops up, and we fade this to a particular value, let's also change its opacity, change its visibility as well. So that's just expanding it. So probably anywhere where this comes in here. Let's try this. Okay, cool. We got scrolling. Let's see if we got scrolling with that. No, that's good. Tap on that, disappears. Beautiful. Hi Pindax, just saw the chat. Welcome. We're just finishing off some rough edges on this Forms UI challenge. Alrighty, cool. Now while we're doing Android here, let's fix this button down the bottom here that annoys me so much. This little guy down here. It's only because I sized it, I think. So let's go ahead and that would be on our main page. Okay, let's go. I think I just pulled that down a little bit too far. We've got hot reload going on, so maybe this will reload for me. There we are, that's better. Let's pull this over the way here. There we are, that's better. And how's it looking at iOS? Beautiful. That'll do, donkey, that'll do. All right, so that's fixed a couple of those issues. I think our Android one is cool now. Make a bid. Zoom in, beautiful. That still works. Go to Vincent. That still works. Beautiful. All right, that's that. Now, the next thing, let's do this. Let's go over to Adobe XD and let's have a look at this section here. So basically what I want to do is I want to get those colors right because they have gradients in them. Oh, and I'll show you something cool that I did over the weekend. It wasn't the weekend, it was Anzac Day. I keep thinking it's the weekend. So see how these have some slight gradients going on in here? Whereas ours doesn't. So that's what I want to fix here. So here's the cool thing that I did. I wrote a plugin for Adobe XD. So what I can do now is I can do this. I can go and select some, I can have, if I have some named colors like this, right? So the assets that you have in Adobe XD, what I can do is I've written this plugin. At the moment it's called My Plugin, right? But what it will do is it will go and it will get all of those colors that I've defined. And if it works, it will create me some XAML color values out of those. Hey, how do you like that? So there we are. That's those color values. Beautiful. So now I can just it is my plugin after all. That's true. That is absolutely true, but I think it'd be more descriptive. So so this is something I'm doing, right? So at the moment, that's all it does. It basically just goes in here and pulls out those colors into here. What I'll do next is I'll work on these character styles so you can actually set up the fonts, and it'll export all the information for the fonts straight out of your Adobe XD. And then if somebody's really smart, and I'm looking at you, R2AU, maybe you can brainstorm with me how we might be able to do designs in here and then export them to XAML, right? That seems like a really big challenge, particularly because I know R2AU doesn't do XAML. So anyway, cool. So let's have a look here. Let's go and get some of these colors. Let's see if it works. So firsty, I'm going to create some XAML sad face. Just going to create some little boxes here. Get rid of the border, get that fill from this top corner. And then what I'll do is I'll add that in, and we'll call this button, God, naming's hard, start gradient. Highlight gradient, start. God, that's a terrible name. And come down here and see if that color is actually any different, which I think it is. Wow, really? It's significantly different. Highlight gradient, and let's do that. Okay, so that should be our gradient between those two colors across that. Is that actually true? Yeah, I suppose it is. All right, cool. Now let's have a look at these two here, and let's see what colors these have. So go ahead and grab this color up here. And we'll add that color in, we'll call it non-highlight gradient start. That's a terrible name. Doesn't matter. We can change it. And we'll add that in. We'll say that's the non-highlight gradient end. Beautiful. Now I'm assuming this one here is the same. Yeah, I think it's the same. Cool. So now I can I go ahead and I can use my plugin. And get those values. Let's just see if it worked. Yeah, there we are. There's those values. So they're the ones that we want to put into our page. So let's do that. Let's go and add them into our app XAML. This is where I find that my plugin, I've never actually done this. It's where I find that it actually does the XAML wrong. No, it looks all right. Beautiful. Maybe we could capitalize that. Might be a little bit nicer. Alrighty, so I got those. Now, what I'm going to use for the gradients, because there's nothing that supports gradients particularly well for box views. What I've used is this one, Xamarin Pancake View. And what this does for us is it's an extended content view, basically, that has the ability to do gradients and gradient angles, border thicknesses, different corner radiuses, things like that, unicorns, all the good things. Yanis says, try Flutter, it's awesome. Yeah, I have tried Flutter, and I do like Flutter. I think Flutter's great for building UIs that are going to be exactly the same across both platforms. But I also love my Xamarin as well. I think both of them have their place, essentially. All right. Do you do Flutter stuff, Yanis? All right, let's go and add that NuGet package in for Pancake View. You've tried Flutter, and 2 months you've built out a project. Beautiful, fantastic. Yeah, I do need to spend some more time doing some Flutter stuff. Yeah, so JavaScript, Dart looks like JavaScript. Yeah, apparently Dart isn't such a problem. Learning it, it's just a language. My biggest challenge with the stuff that I've done with Flutter is the layout and all those crazy curly braces. So just closing all the braces correctly. So just getting used to it, basically. All right, what did I do? I'm not concentrating here. I've added in the NuGet package here. Once I've added that in, we need to get the namespace in. Here it is right here. Yeah, so that's exactly how I feel about it, R2RU. So many closey brackets. Yanis, a follow. Thank you, sir.
Today we're gonna
or ma'am.
lots with Mr. Kim Phil Potts, and oh, how amazing you'll be.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, and welcome. All right. Any and by all means, any questions you have, feel free to ask away. What I'm going to do here now is I'm just going to basically bring that bid pop-up in, and I'm going to add that namespace in here. Oop. I'm not going to call it yummy, as nice as that title is. Let's call it pancake. All right. And what I'll do at the moment, let me run this at the same time, actually. All right. So at the moment, these sections here are done with box views, I think. Is how we did it. Yeah, here we are. These are our box views. No, that's not it. That's not our box views. These are our box views here. Let's have a look. I'll comment that one out. Yeah, that's our bad boy right there. So instead of doing that, we'll use the Pancake View. So I'll get rid of this one here now. And we'll wrap a pancake around here. Okay. And I should have said what the background color was. It was static resource light accent color. In fact, we'll use our gradients here in a second. But let's just see whether this will work for us. Yep, there we go. So what we want to do is we want to give this a radius. And we'll set it to be 5. Did that not work for me? Maybe it's because I got this background color. All right. So what we want to do here is we want to set the gradient. So background gradient start color. And we'll use one of those values that we got earlier on. Highlight gradient start. And then we'll say background gradient end color. And we'll grab that value. That didn't work at all, did it? Why did that not work? Let's just try this. Yeah, it's definitely there. Gradient start, gradient end. Maybe I screwed up the colors. Maybe my plugin doesn't work. FF6. FFCA8A. That looks about right, doesn't it? Looks good to me. Maybe I need to give it a gradient angle. Nope. That's not doing it for me. Let me just do this for a second. No. Okay, why isn't our pancake doing gradients then? Color object. Let's have a look. Nope. Okay. But if I give this a background color of red, okay, definitely there. What am I doing? just try and work out what's going on. It's interesting. All right. Background color of red. Just want to try this. Just stick some values directly into here. Blue. It's just not working, is it? Any thoughts there? R2RU? I've used this before and it's worked. We got our problem assignment exactly. Why doesn't the Pancake View display this? Ah, you know why. No, that's not why. I was thinking it wasn't actually in the grid, but of course it is. It's due before next Saturday. All right. The true Ryan, the original. Now, why is this happening? This got me stumped, this. Because if I give this a background color, it will work. Which means it's in the right place. Did I get the NuGet installed all right? Should be, otherwise it would be complaining. Have I tried it with a rebuild? Yeah, let's try. Let's keep it simple. Let's take the gradient colors. We'll just keep them as consistent color objects. Get rid of the background color. So Ryan Roberts, your first steps into your CS career. Yeah. Programming's fun. There you go. It does work. Ryan with the recommendation to redeploy is the winner. Now the question is, why doesn't it work in here? But then again, nothing works in here. Alright, let's see if we can change this then on the fly. It worked! Exactly, it worked. Let's see if this will update. Yeah, this will work. Beautiful. Alright. This is why computing isn't fun. That's my end color, and this one is my start color. Mind you, that's a very subtle one. So if we have a look at the design, it's super subtle. So let's open up a little color pick application, and let's go and have a look at what colors we've got there. Yep, so we've definitely got a gradient going on there. Because we can see those values changing right here. Just have a look at the chat. What do you like most about coding? You think it, you can make it. With enough code, you can make anything. That's true. No trips to the hardware store. You don't need a hardware store. You just need, like, order everything online. And then, what have you said there, Ryan? Yeah, simplifying problems till a computer can understand it. Absolutely. That's the hard bit. All right, let's add the gradients onto these bad boys. So I'm going to steal this bit of code here. And we'll put this around this stack layout. Except it'll be on column 1. Close this tag. And we'll change our, instead of highlight gradient end, we'll have non-highlight gradient end. Yep, that's right. And non-highlight gradient start. Beautiful. Yeah, that looks about right. Got ourselves a little bit of gradient going on. Beautiful. And we'll grab this one more time, and we'll throw it against our last one here in grid row 2. Close our Pancake View, and all going well. There we are. Beautiful. And I should now be able to get rid of these 2 box views. Awesome. All right, so that's looking pretty close, I'd say. That'll do, donkey. Does that look a little bit down? Yeah, image is a little bit down. This is the thing that takes lots of time, is like fine-tuning all of this stuff. I just want to have a quick look at the resources that we have there for the Ethereum icon. Look at all that space around there. Whereas I think our other ones, like our Bitcoin, where's that? Yeah, don't have any space. So that's easy. Let's just go back over to Adobe and let's clean that resource up. So here's our icon here. Let's come back to our layers here. Let's have a look at the chat here. Get the project over with. I always did the opposite. I always did the opposite as well. I always did it at the last minute. But then I spent years having nightmares about not completing assignments afterwards. Now, why is this? For export. For export. How do I reduce the size of this here? Ryan says, if a project's done early, you can enjoy life and don't worry. That's true. It's a very responsible outlook on life, Ryan. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to work out how I can crop that in. What about if I did this? What about if I said, if I had an image here, sorry, a circle here, without a border, and then I was to grab that, paste that inside of here. Is that going to work? No, it's going to paste it over here. How big is our circle? 24 by 24. Let's create a new storyboard. 24 by 24. And let's try this again. Early bird gets the worm. Was coding a process for you? Did you ever have times where you thought you could quit coding or major change, like when you were stumped when you started? For me personally, I started coding when I was about 8 or so, maybe, which is a long time ago. It was an Apple IIe. that I had that my parents bought. Okay, take care, R2RU. I'm going to probably do a collection view challenge later on, so maybe I could get some advice from you. But yeah, take care, mate. Have a good meeting and a good coffee. So yeah, I started coding when I was about 8 or so. My parents got an Apple IIe, and so what I did is I went and used that for developing. And in fact, on my wall right here, back in Apple II days, they used to have this magazine called Beagle Brothers, where you could get applications and you could type them in. And in fact, this here is the people from Beagle Brothers. And yeah, I used to use that and used to type in applications and get them running on the Apple II. That was my first programming. Yeah, so I've always done development, actually. And then, I went to university, got a degree, and then just always done it. So I've always enjoyed it. I've never wanted to give up. But these days I do sort of more training stuff, rather than hardcore dev. It's kind of just where I ended up. Anyway, that's me. All right, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to create the Ethereum icon and not have it go really big. So I'm going to basically create myself an artboard of the right size, 24 by 24. And then I'm going to actually just steal these two elements here. I'm going to stick them in the artboard. And I think that will take care of them for me. And that will allow me to crop it. So I should be able to say, okay, well, let's go and get this. Let's pull these out of the group. Get rid of those. Should I put that in the middle? This ellipse doesn't look the right size to me. This should be 24 by 24, I think. That's 0, 0. In fact, what I should be able to do is I should be able to just grab those two elements and say center them horizontally and vertically. That didn't work very well. Anyway. Group those two together. And then move them into the middle. Beautiful. So now hopefully I can select this guy, export that, and it will give me the right value. So let's have a look at what we called that. ETH icon. And let me just quickly check again. I wonder if we could have just cropped these. Anyway, this will be a better way of doing it. So maybe now what I can do is I can say, let's get these guys, ETH icon, export selected for iOS. Let's go ahead and find where I put this thing, which will be under GitHub, okay, fill parts, auction. And this is my favorite bit, just being able to export the resources. Better make sure I stop this actually. And then export them for Android as well. And just put them out into a different folder. And I think from memory, it's going to put them all under the correct folders here, which is awesome. So it saves me having to... Yes. So let me just go ahead and check that. So now if I go and have a look at these, beautiful. And if I go and have a look at my Android one, hopefully they're fixed as well. Yep, they've been replaced. So that should be good. All right. Fantastic. So now I'll go ahead and I'll run this again and see where we're up to. Okay, so we've been working on it for about an hour. Whoa, why so big? Why so big? There we go. Make a bid. There we are. Wow, that was a lot of work just to align an icon, wasn't it? But I'd say that's looking pretty good. Let me pull this one over. What have we got here? Okay, we've got our elements there. We've got our Ethereum icon. I reckon we might need a little bit more padding in here. Just add a little bit more down the bottom there. Let's go back to our bid pop-up page. Let's find where we have our box view here. Okay, this is our one here. So this is our stack layout. So we've got our two labels here, title text, auction. So what we could do is we could add a little bit of a margin up here, right? Yeah, that's better. Maybe a little bit after as well. Don't know if that'll be too much. Let's find out. Might be a bit too much. That's live XAML. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Diegox Leon? It's really hard announcing people's titles. Yeah, that's live XAML. So that's basically how it's doing that. Just Diego? Ah, okay. You need some capitalization in there. So Diego, thank you. Yeah, that's live XAML. So yeah, I can come in here and I can, change those values and just get it to reload. Also on my Android as well. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. What else we got? Good. Let's have a look at... Oh, I tell you what we do need to fix up. We need to get a Wikipedia icon. Is what we need. So let's get one of those. And we probably want some icons here as well. These here are a little bit nasty. So let's fix that up. Let's fix up that Wikipedia. So we'll jump back to XD again, because that's how we roll. I'll just create a nice little simple one of these. So we want it to be like this. Okay, and that'll probably do us. Oops, don't want that. So just a label with a symbol. So Jago, yes, I can do that without images, just a label with a symbol. That's what I've got there at the moment. I think if this is what you're talking about, let's have a look. So here at the moment, right, I've got in my main page, I was going to do a search for that. Let's have a look for 1890. So I've basically got, yeah, some text in here with that, right, with a greater than sign. Is that what you mean, Diego? Like, and I could, I suppose, if I wanted to, use like a, you know, a font image in order to do it. But unless there's another symbol that you know of. It's an actual chevron. Is it? Are you looking at like char map or something like that? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can do it. What's his name of this font? This font is called... Use that. Alright, let's see if I can copy it out of the chat window. Let's see how it looks. That's cool if it works. Okay, that's it. Let's see how this bad boy works. There's your chevron. Yeah, it's not bad. That's not bad. Oops. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, a bit bigger. So let's say, where is it? Where did my window go? How's that look? Definitely a chevron. Let's have a look at what the artist intended. And all of this is kind of subjective anyway, you know, like when you work with a graphic designer, this is the kind of thing this is the kind of thing that might drive a graphic designer crazy, you know, or maybe they're like, yeah, whatever. So let's see how we go. So there's other thinner symbols. Are you just finding those in char map, by the way? Or are you talking about thinner fonts? Can't remember where? Okay. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Google that. Google it up. So I'd say what we probably want for this design is just to kind of try and stay as close to the design as we can. We might want a thinner one. So if you can find that one, Diego, that'd be awesome, and we could see if that works. while you're doing that, I'm going to do an Adobe XD version of it anyway, and then we'll see, and we'll compare that versus versus something you find, and we'll see which one we like best. So I'm going to just grab that, and I'm going to make that color. And we'll call this chevron. And then we'll go and export this. I wish there was a button in here which would export all of them at the same time for iOS and for Android. Anyway, it's not that big a deal. What about that one? Fantastic. Let's have a look at that one, Diego. Oh, nice and thin. No, that's not it. Why does it have a space after it? That's actually the symbol. How about that? That one's a little bit not quite angular enough. Let's have a look at coolsymbol.com. Hey, this is cool. We've got star symbols. Hey, this is a cool little resource, Diego. Special non-printing characters. All right. See if we can find where those ones are. Yeah, that one's a bit gratuitous as well. It's definitely better than what we had, which was this one. I wonder, is that these symbols must be for every font must have to do these, right? So it's going to depend on the font on how they represent them. Anyway, that's a cool resource. I'm going to snap that one. Yeah, not all fonts would. That's what I'm thinking. Is that it would be up to the font to support those symbols in the same place. So yeah, it could well be. Anyway, listen. What I'm going to do, as awesome as that is, I'm just going to bring in that image. I think. So let me see if it found that image. Did it find the image? What did I call it? For Android. Let's go put it in the Android resources directory. Did I already do that? I thought I did that. Yep. Maybe it's because I'm running. Let's get this one first. What was it called? It was called Chevron. Why am I not seeing it? Is it in there? Let's have a look. It's definitely there. Chevron. Yep, there it is. There it is. Including project. Let's see if it's in our Android as well. Yeah, so Diego said I try to avoid images by using Android XML iOS PDFs when possible. Yeah, a bit harder to generate. Yeah, definitely a little bit more work. I think font icons are a way I like going. But it's a little bit over the top just for this one little image. I don't know why these aren't appearing. There it is. Including project. Okay, here we go. Include each of these guys. And I'd say we're getting close to being done. I hate the way Visual Studio takes so long to include an image. And I've still got one more to do. Because the other advantage, of course, Diego as well, if you can do that, is you don't have to include it in like 10 different places in your Android project. All right. Oh, build failed. Ba-boom. App size? Sure. Why did we build fail? Okay. Is there two images here? So let's change these to being an image. Put in grid column 2. All right, there it is over top. That's pretty cool. We can see how they relate to each other. So maybe we'll get rid of this label one then. There we are. Just how the artist intended it. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's pretty much right.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim.
Oh, a follow.
Oh,
Desert Griffin. Thank you for the follow. Thank you very much and welcome. We're just fine-tuning a layout here, so it's pretty slow going. But what we're trying to do, in case you just tuned in, is we're basically reproducing this page here, or this little application in Xamarin.Forms. So we've got most of the bits working. We're just doing some of the fine tuning, like that stupid chevron. And we've got most of that working as well. So that's looking pretty good. Oh, very nice. Alrighty.
Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Phil Potson. Oh, how amazing.
Cool, Dev. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Desert Griffin. Music's a little bit loud. It looks like a Xamarin mobile app. Absolutely. All right, let's go and replace that other one down here. Beautiful. Yeah, it looks about right. Let's Wikipedia this up. Now that's one we're not going to find an image for. So what I might do here is have a look at how big this is, and I'll just create a square image, and we'll just circle rect it basically. 42 by 42 looks about right. I'll just put that like that for the moment. And we'll go and find ourselves a nice Wikipedia icon. I want a white one. That's right, I'm sure we can recolor it. If you knew what font it was, we could actually do it in a font. Actually, I'll tell you what does do this. Doesn't font icon Font Awesome do this? All right, there we go. Let's have a look. We should probably be able to, hopefully, actually we should just be able to get this SVG. This SVG requires attribution. All right, I'm going to make myself a note here. To what did it say? Anyway, yep. Trust us, we'll do it. Okay, now let me get that downloaded image and bring it in here. Whoa, way too big. In fact, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to create myself an artboard. This is a better way of doing it, I think. Create myself an artboard. How big was that image? Diego just shot out a link there. SVG to vector drawable. Yeah, okay. The problem with a vector drawable though is I'm gonna have to do it in different ways for iOS and Android, right? So in a Xamarin.Forms project, I'm gonna have to have some conditional code to do the Android part and the iOS part because it'll be done in different ways. I'm assuming, but that's a cool link. No? So what's a vector drawable then? It just works? All right. Should we try this? We should try this. I've never tried this, right? So let's come back here. Drop a file here. Do it. Why not, hey? Let's learn something while we're at it. Holy moly. All right, what do we got? So where's this vector? Where's this vector drawable going to go? Help me out here, Diego. You seem like you know what you're doing. Yeah, but see, that's going to give me an XML file, right? And so it's saying now stick that in your in our Android. Let's just stop this. All right, so we'll put this in our Android drawable folder. Where did it download to? It's called Wikipedia's W brand. Hang on a second, let me just go find this bad boy. And let's just have a look at it. Okay, that's our file, right? We might rename it because it's got a terrible name. And we'll call this, we'll just call it Wikipedia icon. All right. So I've got that there now in my XML. Inside of there in my drawables. It's not in there yet, but it will be in a second. Include into our project. Beautiful. So you're saying now what I should be able to do is I should be able to give this a build. It will build up that resource for me. And I should be able to put in an image source of Wikipedia icon. Yeah, okay. String type's not allowed. Make sure it's an Android resource, okay. Yeah, Android resource. Probably don't have to copy it. What was our problem here? String types not allowed at fill color with value current color. Done. Okay, I think that worked. No, one failed. One failed with no error message. That's awesome. Yeah, I've never seen this done before. Okay. It worked. So now let me see how we would use this. So what you're saying, before we do the iOS version, you're saying I should now be able to go to my page and I should be able to use the name without XML. So where's my Wikipedia icon? It would be basically be this one here, I think. In fact, I should be able to run this now on my Android and then live XAML it and see what happens. All right, so it's this one here. I'll just check it's this one. Yep, that got rid of it. So let's do this. Let's go and throw an image in here then. I'm going to pull this font down a little bit so I can type a bit better. So let's say now I want an image with a source equal to Wikipedia icon, right? Let's just check we got that right. Wikipedia icon without the XML. And we'll put this in grid row 1. What do you think? Oh, Sickipedia. I think it's right, Wikipedia. I don't think it's in there. Let's have a look. Well, let's just put a background color in it with yellow so we can see where it thinks it's going. Yep, that's where it thinks it's going. All right. All right, so let's try then changing the fill color. So it had in here Android fill color equals. How can I specify a color in here, Diego? So I'll just hard code in a color, maybe. Color. Hex will work. Okay, well it's in white, so it should be FF. Yep. Did it? What did I have that tag there for? Okay, something. There we are. That looks about right. Yep, remove that. Did that. All good. Alright, I'll probably have to do a rebuild, right? Because it's going to build this resource again. It didn't blow up, which is a really good sign, right? Did I get that right? Fill color. Let's have a look. This is what it gave me. Android : fill color with a capital C. That's all right. I'm sure it works. I just haven't done it before, so I'm learning as we go here. But it sounds super awesome. Like, it's just not a technique I've ever used. But that's what it's all about. It's all about learning, right? Let's see what we have here. Oops, sorry, just knocked the mic. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Amazeballs. Well, I don't know about nice. It's a little, it needs a little bit of work. So what do we want? Well, let's do this, right? So we still want to put a background on this, right? But we want it to be. Let's see if we can make this work. And then if you're still around, Diego, you can walk me through the iOS side of things. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to find what it looks like. So where's Adobe XD? It's supposed to look like. Yeah. Get rid of my. Okay, so it's a black circle, white. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Let's say the background color of this is black. Oh, let's get rid of the background color of this. We don't want that. Okay. Just to see if this works. All right, it's totally going to work. I'm assuming the default size, Diego, for that then is coming out of this, right? Or maybe one of these values. Although it didn't look that size. Maybe it's from this. Yeah, so based on that scaling, these are the SVG values. Cool. All right. Cool. So let's make that a little bit smaller. Possibly. Yep. But you basically, whenever you're using this, you'll just resize it like this, right? Did that resize? Let's go and make this a little bit smaller. Is it not getting any smaller? It's not getting any smaller. Why is it not getting any smaller? There we are. That's why. Awesome. So that's looking about right. And that should be, it looks a little bit jaggy here, but I think that's not really the case. It's just my screen share. All right. So Diego, help me out here, brother. What are we going to do now? We're going to want to put this into our iOS. And so you said you can use a PDF or images. Just need to save an asset with the same name. So you're saying I could put it into my asset catalog here as an SVG. Yeah, not the XML, the SVG file. Images or a PDF. But so you're saying just to get this straight. So you're saying still create the image, save that one down for the I don't know if the PDFs work very well. Let's have a look. So I think we add an image set here. Export it from Adobe XD. Can I export it from? Sure, why not? Well, let's try this. Let's go and get this guy. Let's make him white. Alright. I'll move it over here somewhere out of the way. My Adobe XD file's a mess. So you bring it out as a PDF, right? Yep, beautiful. PDF. I suppose I want to put this under my iOS. It's probably going to go under an asset catalog, isn't it? There's jam it on my desktop with all my other stuff. Before I do that, I'm going to give it a name. I'll give it the same name. Wikipedia icon. Let me just check that was the name that we used. I'm pretty sure it was. Wikipedia icon, yeah. Okay, cool. Export selected. We only want this in one size, so I suppose it's design. I'll export it 1 times. Yeah, that looks about right. All right. So now we've got a new asset. Say, hey, go and grab one of these. It's looking for a PDF. Go and grab it from my desktop. Ish. What did I export it as? I exported it as something dumb, didn't I? Yeah, PDF. And now back here and say, hey, go and grab this on my desktop. And that will deal with the 1, 2s, and 3s, I'm assuming. And then, do I name it here? Let's see. Because I never use asset catalogs, but it should be something like that. Just again check. It's all lowercase. Wikipedia icon. Let's see what happens. I don't know, let's try it. Are we running? Oh my God. I don't believe it. I'm going to run it again. Beautiful. Did you see that, Diego? Did you see that? Hey, thanks for teaching me that technique, Diego. That's exactly why I like live streaming, because we can all help each other. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see how it impacts file size. Do you have any metrics, Diego, on kind of how much it reduces it, or is it all just very dependent? Cool. Well, that saved me having to export a whole reduced your app by 5 meg. Beautiful. You got lots of images, but also it's vectorized, right? So it means that it's going to scale nicely. Yeah, which means if I was to make this like 50 by 50, I should have a nice clean W, right? Whoa, that would be big. Yeah, always looks perfect. Fantastic. I gotta remember what I had. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, let's see how our Android's looking. Am I targeting less than Android 21? In this one, I'm kind of not really, because I'm just trying to go through the technique of reproducing a screen. So this isn't a real app, really, when it comes down to it. Let's have a look at what I am actually targeting. Compiling using 8.1. Target 27. Cool. Okay, so if I'm doing less than 21, I need an app compat delegate compare vector from resource enabled equals true. Compat vector, sorry. Cool. Nice one. Thanks for that tip as well, Diego. Alrighty. Now, where are we at? I think we're pretty good. Pretty good. We've got our, let's come back over to our image here, to our example. Okay, so we had that popping up nicely. Beautiful. We've got our Vincent. Coming up. Oops, our Vincent. Get ourselves a nice little flow layout going on there. Thanks to Lachlan. Beautiful. We've got some nice small images thanks to Diego. Beautiful. Let's just see what work items we had. So we fixed that one. We did that one. We did that one. Easing in the pop-ups. What did I have here? I think I was looking at it and I thought to myself, these pop-ups are just not quite the same as this one. Oh no, they are. I thought they had some bounce in them, but apparently they don't. Yeah, is it in GitHub? It is in GitHub. I haven't checked this code in that we just For the nice bottom slider, you mean the bit that comes up? I'll tell you how that works. It's kind of a little bit cheaty. Let's have a look at. I'll just quickly walk you through it. Basically, the way it works is we've got content views for this section here, right? And then we've got a content view for the Vincent van Gogh section, right? So if I have a look in here, there'll be a bid pop up. So this is, all right, so that's that bit. And then we've got the artist detail pop up. Get out of my way. Which is the Vincent one, right? And all we're doing is, and then we've got a faded section, which is how this background fades out. And it is basically just, it's this thing here. It's the page fader, right? So it's just a box view with an opacity. It's actually just black, I think, from memory. So that just goes in, and that's got a tap recognizer. So when I tap on that, it hides it. And basically this content view will return how high the first section is and then how high the whole section is. So in our code then, we just go, and this could be done a little bit nicer as well. We basically say, okay, well, when the pop-up happens, let's make it visible. Let's fade the page in. Let's go on. This bid pop-up is basically popping up this first section. So first section is, it gets returned from the bid pop-up. And then if I tap it again, it goes all the way up, which is probably this bit down here. Where is it? This bit here, expand pop-up. Yeah, it's kind of a, it's a trick, but it works. It works. Ideally, maybe what it should be is these should be whole different pages that are modals that come in over the top. Maybe. Yeah. But then you have to worry about transitions between pages and modals and the animations. Do you use the RX plugins? What is it? RGX? Yeah. Yeah, what's it called? It's called like RX or RGX. That's the one. Yeah, this is a super awesome library. I've used this before. The only thing I was thinking it might not do for me is the fading behind. But yeah, maybe I'll play around with this a little bit later on and see if I can use that, because it's kind of that would be a little bit nicer than this kind of trick that I'm using here. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, well, I think for the moment, I've been going for a couple of hours. I might check some of this in and sign off, and then write some of this up, just to post out a blog. You've got the darker background built in, but not sure if it's animated. Ah, yeah, I see what you're saying. So Diego, you're saying they can do a faded background, but you don't know if it fades in or it'll just splat it over the top. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. All right, so I think we're basically there. So let me, what's all this? Did I break something? Oh, wow. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so for future streams, I think what I'm going to do is one, work on this Adobe XD plugin that I wrote, which allows you to export these into colors. Right, so my plugin. So that is what allows me to get that stuff out. And then I think I'm going to do stuff for write the plugin for the character styles as well. So to get the fonts and things like that out of there. So I'm going to do that on a future stream. And probably a collection view challenge. And also finding some other layouts on Dribble. So if anyone's got any layouts on Dribble they want to reproduce and work together and reproduce those, let me know. And we'll do some of those. Apart from that, I'm going to start sort of building out some real apps as well on the stream. Alrighty. But for now, that's probably enough. So it's been a great stream. Thanks everyone who's contributed and said hi. Much appreciated. So take care. And also, if you haven't followed, just hit the follow button, and then you'll be notified of when we get some updates or when I'm streaming. Otherwise, have a great week, everyone, and thanks again. See you next time. Oh, actually, we should see if there's anyone worth raiding. I always forget to do that. Let's have a look. So there's a really cool site. Yeah, thanks, Pine Ducks. Welcome. So we can always raid. Let's try doing that. I don't know what... so there's a nice little site called belly.io, which allows you to see all of the programming things that are going on at the moment. There's me. Who do you think we should... Should we raid someone? Should we try raiding RW Grin? Yeah, thanks Diego. Awesome tricks. I might write them up in a blog post if you're not going to, Diego. Yeah, just in time for a raid, Ryan. But I tell you what is quite interesting is throughout the stream, Diego showed me how to put in where am I? Vector drawables in here and how to use those in Xamarin.Forms. So that was pretty awesome. I will write it up anyway and post it. So let's raid somebody. RW Grim seems to be the most appropriate. Let's do that. I've never really successfully raided, so let's. Or who wants music? Let's just go RW Grim. Let's try that. All right. Take care. See you next time. Let's hit that raid button, see if I can make it work. Oh, and thanks for the follow, JK. See if we can get some viewers. 6, 8. All right. Let's go a raiding, peeps.